Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today. Sling TV is making some big changes. We'll tell you what's happening there. They're trying to attract some new customers with this. Also, HBO Max may be losing free live sports. They may be going behind a paywall. We'll tell you what was announced that leads me to think that. And T-Mobile's home internet is expanding. They're buying more fiber companies. T-Mobile just doesn't want to do wireless service. They want to be a massive player in the world of fiber home internet. We'll tell you about these stories and a whole lot more. There's a lot happening, including Walmart paying a massive fine in a quick second. First of all, you can find a link to every story I talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. If you would like, we send out a free daily newsletter with these stories and more to your email box every morning to make these easy to find. If you listen to me in the car or something and want to find out later more about a story, check out the show notes. I have a link down there below the link, a list of stories where you can subscribe to our free daily newsletter. And if you like what we do, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow, hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV. All right, let's dive into it. Sling TV yesterday announced some innovative things. We've seen similar attempts of this, but this is the first of its kind. You can now get a single day pass for $4.99. Get unlimited access to Sling TV's packages at that, including cheap add-ons. You can also get a weekend pass for $9.99 and a week pass for $14.99. You probably say, Luke, why do I care about that? That's not a very good deal. It's much cheaper to go get their $40-some package. That is true, but I think they're really targeting, maybe it's a massive news event. People, I really want to get Fox, CNN, MSNBC, or wherever it may be. Also, I think what they're doing here is sports, right? Maybe it's a national championship on ESPN, people quickly want to just have it for that one day, rather than paying for an entire month because you want to show college football's national championship at a house party. This is a cheaper way to do it. We'll see how this plays out. We've seen similar attempts from sports leagues through their NBA League Pass and other things to talk about potentially doing single game passes. Of course, they're always more expensive if you really break it down by the day versus paying for the full month. But not everybody wants it. Sling TV is trying to attract new subscribers. They stopped reporting specific Sling TV subscribers in their last quarter. Just reported overall a loss of TV subscribers. I actually think this is not a bad plan at all. While most people would look at this and say, hey, I don't think I'll pay for just a day, a weekend, or a week. But there are many occasions, maybe it's the Olympics or other things where, you just want to watch a particular event. And that's what this comes down to. I think we'll be interested to see who else copies this model. But for now, Sling TV changing up their structure to try to attract new subscribers. Now, their core monthly plans remain unchanged. And if you're a current subscriber, nothing changes for you. All right, next up, HBO Max is going to be losing TNT sporting events, at least not having them included free with their more premium packages. Right now, if you're on one of their ad-free packages, you get live sporting events from TNT, TBS, truTV, and more. Now, next year, Warner Brothers Discovery is breaking up its company into multiple different areas. And Discovery Communications or something like that is going to be the new owner of its cable networks, which are going to include TNT, TBS, and truTV. While Warner Brothers Discovery will be a parent company, this new entity will be separate and independent from it, not reported on it, and no longer a part of Max. Now, with this, in their earnings call last week, Warner Brothers Discovery announced plans to launch a TNT streaming service for sports where you'll be able to subscribe and get sports. They did say now they intend to remain partnered with HBO Max, and with that, for an add-on fee, you'll be able to continue to access it. Now, when sports was originally announced to be coming to the time just called Max, now HBO Max, it was going to be an additional cost, originally free. And they've been kicking down the road the cost of sports from TNT, truTV, and others as an add-on to HBO Max. Now it looks like that may be becoming a reality soon, but probably not to 2026. Now, exactly when this happens, we don't know. Exact detail, exact cost, we don't know. It's just been announced it's coming. So it'll be very interesting to see how HBO Max handles this. Well, not everybody uses it. There is a lot of people. For example, if you're a Fubo TV subscriber, this is a great way to get HBO Max's sports content to give you access to TNT, True TV, and TBS, all things not included in your Fubo subscription. With ESPN and Fox launching a joint bundle for $30 a month, or whatever it may be, $39.99, something like that. I'll check that story off the top of my head. Somebody leave me a comment. What's that bundle one that's launching in October's price? You know, adding in Max to that gives you a ton of sports without the need for the much higher price YouTube TV, Fubo, Hulu Plus Live, etc. We'll keep an eye on this, but it's another sign that HBO Max's vision for the future is changing. They're moving away from offering a lot of kids content, instead focusing on more mature adult audiences with it. You know, and we'll see how that plays out. All right, T-Mobile is expanding its home fiber internet service. T-Mobile over the last year has been buying up many companies to expand its T-Mobile home internet. I think MetroNet was one in my area that just got bought by them. But T-Mobile this week announced an acquisition of U.S. internet. Now this is mostly in the Minnesota area, but will, especially in the Twin Cities market. But they hope in the next couple months to close this deal and transition those customers to T-Mobile. T-Mobile is laying a lot of its own fiber to expand its not just 5G home internet, but its fiber home internet service. And with that, part of it has been buying up smaller companies. They just did one over in North Carolina. I think they did one down here in Florida and other places with that. But we'll keep an eye on that. T-Mobile 5G home internet is wildly popular. But T-Mobile is definitely wanting to diversify more into traditional home internet by also now offering fiber in a growing number of areas. I don't think T-Mobile is done buying companies. Be warned, I expect T-Mobile to be buying up many small internet, fiber internet companies in the years to come. All right, next up, Walmart has agreed to pay $5.6 million in a settlement over price and weight violations out of California. Big warning here, you're not going to see that money. That money is going to the local city governments in California that sued them, alleging mispricing at local Walmarts, misweighing, scales not being properly calibrated, and maybe giving the wrong weights, making you pay the wrong price. Now, this was from Santa Clara, Santa Barbara, and Sonoma. Hope I said those all right. In California, they'll be splitting that money up between them. Walmart allocate $5.5 million to civil penalties, and with an additional $139 million in change to cover investigation costs of California's division. Santa Clara County will receive $1.3 million in change, which will be directed to the county's Consumer Protection Fund, and other counties or cities will do the same thing. Now, awesome! It's a great thing here. Don't expect. I know I saw a lot of comments. Oh, great! How do I claim my money? You don't. This is not one of those where you get a payment from this. This is where the cities claim the money and then put it into different businesses or different departments there to continue to operate it. But Walmart, a growing player in the world of cord cutting. TVs, don't forget they own Vizio. Some of the most popular Google TV devices on the market now are Walmart ones. Paying $5.6 million here with this. All right, next up, Sony's Crunchyroll announces layoffs as it shifts to international markets. Sony's owns Crunchyroll and has been buying up competitor streaming services and rights to anime across the country. Crunchyroll is a very popular streaming service that heavily focuses on the anime genre. One of the greatest things about cord cutting is the ability to get access to content that traditionally does not air on cable TV. Rather, it's reruns of older content, international content, or in this case, anime, which has long been hard to get in the United States, but in recent decades has become a lot easier, especially with streaming services like Crunchyroll. Now, Variety obtained a memo announcing layoffs at its company and a, quote, shift to focus on high growth markets like India, Brazil, and Mexico, where anime fandom is rapidly expanding. Interesting to see what this means for the United States. It does not mean they're shutting down here in the United States. It does mean, though, that they're shifting resources outside. You know, has Crunchyroll reached saturation in the United States where they say, hey, this is about as big as we're going to get, and they're not going to be focusing on expansion here. I'm sure they're going to keep the business going here, but now it seems like they're shifting to international markets. We'll keep a close eye on this, but if you want to read the full memo to employees from Sony, check out our story in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. You can find a link to it there. But I've talked about this a lot. There are more streaming services than the market can support. What does that mean? There are hundreds of paid services out there across the world. And in the United States, there's over 100 paid. Not even talking about the free ad-supported ones. There are so many services that at some point you have to say, hey, people are only subscribing to about 3, maybe 4 streaming services on average paid. At some point, this is just the market share. Not all these services will make it. Most of them are still running as unprofitable streaming services. I don't know what Crunchyroll's profitability is or not off the top of my head, but this seems to be Sony's view that this is the best thing for the company moving forward. We'll keep a close eye on this. You leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Do you use Crunchyroll? Do you like it? I would love to hear from you. All right, next up, it's a new week here in the United States. I know it's kind of midweek now, but there's a lot of great streaming content coming to things like Netflix, Hulu, Max. If you head over to CoreCarsNews.com, we have full breakdowns every Monday of all the biggest streaming services and what's new that week. So make sure to always head over to CoreCarsNews.com and see what's new on Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and more with that. All right, Sinclair, one of the largest owners of local television stations in the United States, came out late yesterday after reports that this was going to happen and announced that, for one, they're looking to spin off part of their company, maybe sell it, maybe independent, but also they're starting to evaluate a total top-down look at their company with the purpose of mergers and acquisitions. This comes as Nexstar is reportedly in talks with Tenga, Nexstar being the largest provider of local ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS stations, and Tenga owning 60, another major player there. Now Sinclair may be on their own buying streak to go buy up ones, as the FCC has loosened rules related on the number of TV stations you can own per market. Traditionally, it was limited to one of the big 4. You could own one ABC, CBS, Fox, or NBC local per market, with some exceptions and loopholes and different things with it. Now, with that though, those rules have been lifted, and now there's aggressive mergers happening across the industry. I suspect we'll see a lot of TV stations sold. We just saw the Weather Channel's parent group, Allen Media, selling 10 of their local stations to Gray Media. I suspect we'll see more of those sold in the upcoming months and years as people rush to take advantage of the new rules that allow it to happen, where in the past they were unable to do deals like this because of ownership limitations. We'll wait and see what happens, but like I said, looking at spin off some of their investment arms and maybe bring in mergers and acquisitions. What does that mean? Your guess is as good as mine. Press releases like this are sometimes just an attempt to attract interested sellers to them, get their phones ringing to find out who's interested in selling right now. All right, today in TV history, 30 years ago this week, A Dangerous Mind movie was released. A look back at that 1995 iconic film. Anybody love that movie? I watched it several times. It's a great movie. Let me know if you watch A Dangerous Mind. Hard to believe that's been 30 years since it came out in 1995. And lastly, this is actually a story I kind of love the idea of this. Now, there's been a breakdown of a new iOS beta for iPhones, Androids, and their wireless earbuds. Now, with this in there, there are references to automatic translation through your iPad or your earbud pros. I'm sorry. And with that, you'll be able to automatically translate what's happening around you. Very nice thing if you're traveling, but also if you're watching TV. Now, Anker's Soundcore wireless earbuds have had a few that do this for a while, where you'll be able to, in real time, translate what's happening around you and hear it in English if somebody's speaking something like Spanish or French or German or Japanese, for example. Now, Apple is reportedly doing that. Why is that important for cord cutting TV? Well, what happens if you're watching that anime that's only in Japanese, or that French movie that's only in French? You'll be able to put in your Apple earbuds, turn on the automatic translations, and watch the movie in real time, hearing the translations in your ear. Well, you can read subtitles I know I'm dyslexic. I struggle to keep following what's happening in the movie and read the subtitles fast enough. It's not my strong suit. I know a lot of people don't enjoy that. Some people absolutely love subtitle movies. I understand. But with this, in real time, you'll be able to get translations, opening up a lot of foreign content to people who may not necessarily watch it. Would not surprise me if at some point in the future we see Apple build this straight into an Apple TV. Can you imagine if your Apple TV automatically translated that movie you're watching from English to Spanish or Spanish to English, for example? I think that could be the killer feature that could make Apple's TVs the must-own box for many people. We'll keep a close eye on it, but for now, it's just a little bit of a tidbit found inside of an iOS beta that has not been announced yet. So just keep that in mind. Well, that's it for today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you all are being safe out there in this hot weather. Until next time, take care, be safe. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. We really do appreciate it.